So Jurassic World Rebirth is a science fiction, action-adventure monster dinosaur movie that was good by the end of it, but it was a bit of a chore to get through. I mean, it had a really cool opening in terms of that Snickers bar causing absolute mayhem with the InGen laboratory, which led to it entirely closing down. But the first act after that sequence was so dull. For example, getting the group together, and I know that they were taking a lot of inspiration from Steven Spielberg's Jaws movie, especially as he is the executive producer of this film and of course all of the other Jurassic movies, but I feel like they spent way too much time at sea. However, when they eventually landed on the island from the second act onwards, I think this movie was really, really good, and I really liked the mission of trying to obtain samples from 3 gigantic dinosaurs in order to create a heart disease solution for everybody and charge them a lot of money, especially as the USA market has been under a lot of scrutiny for overcharging in the pharmaceutical space. And so I feel like Jonathan Bailey's character wanting to put this in the open source environment so that everybody is able to access it was really, really good. And speaking of getting the third and final sample, I thought it was so intense when that parent dinosaur came back to find ScarJo and Jonathan Bailey's character by the eggs and so wanted to attack and destroy them. And it felt very Indiana Jones / Pirates of the Caribbean, and a little bit like Uncharted as well actually, when Jonathan Bailey's character slips from the brick and this makes him fall down, and you really feel sorry for this character as he is really struggling with all of this rock climbing stuff. And then it was so shocking that all of the other characters just found a load of convenient stairs where they were able to go down, but the other character was eaten alive by this giant dinosaur, which was just so barbaric to watch. And then meanwhile, this family of 4 are trying to escape the T-Rex. I thought it was such brilliant cinematography when Luna Blaze's character is using that inflatable boat to try to get away from the T-Rex. And when she inflates it, you see that the T-Rex disappears when it goes the other side. And then just that battle in water, especially as you don't know what's going to happen, who is going to survive. And I feel like the T-Rex looked so realistic, and you really are feeling the adrenaline for all of these characters. And then speaking of the Rexes, we've got the D-Rex, which is the modified version of this character. And he looked like he had been created by the business in the Alien franchise, as I feel like he had a little similarity with that alien. But this D-Rex was so determined to get these characters. Firstly, when he destroyed the helicopter, that was really, really shocking. And then when he ate Martin and then was going after Mahershala Ali's character, as Mahershala Ali was trying to prevent the D-Rex from attacking anybody else. And I love the fact that he's survived. Speaking of survivals, I feel like too many characters did survive this movie. I would have expected a few more shocking deaths, not just the background and villainous characters. I did feel like the family were a little bit forced into the plot, but I did like the sequence also in the shops and underground, where you don't know who is going to survive and who is going to get caught. I did like all of the throwbacks and references to Paul's Jurassic Park movies and of course the original book. And I think this film worked as a really strong standalone sequel, and I think that Gareth Edwards was able to bring his signature style in terms of showing the height perspective with characters on the ground along with characters higher up, and he is able to make a big blockbuster picture for a reasonably affordable amount, very similarly to how he also did this with The Creator. So let's go through all of the characters and actors one by one. So I feel like Scarlett Johansson was absolutely brilliant as the mercenary. I feel like she was a great action lead. I feel like she led the team and the movie really, really strongly. I think she was a really layered character. You could see that she wants to do the right thing, but is also, like everybody, driven by money. And I think she was brilliant in a number of different action sequences, and you can tell that she was really bringing her Marvel Studios experience and pedigree into this role. I thought Jonathan Bailey was also really, really good. I love the pairing of him and Scarlett Johansson's character, and I think he was the dino geek with a bit of an edge. I feel like he played that part really, really well, and I loved the fact that he was a true expert, and they wouldn't have been able to survive and know everything if it wasn't for this character. So everybody is able to bring something new in a team. I also really liked Mahershala Ali's character. He obviously had a past friendship with Scarlett Johansson's character, and he really was able to bring the emotion into his performance, as the character has unfortunately lost his kid and as a result his marriage, and so really wanted to help everybody else. And I feel like that emotional ending was just done so well, as he was able to realize this, ensure that everybody is able to reach safety, and then was also able to join them right at the end too. I feel like Rupert Friend was absolutely extraordinary as the evil Martin. I feel like all of these types of movies need that dark, mysterious business guy in them, and I feel like he played that douchey role in such a layered way that you absolutely love to hate him. And I feel like to some extent he was a bit of a scene stealer in all of the sequences that he was in, as you're pretty captivated in terms of what is this character going to do next. And I love Manuel Garcia Rolfo in The Lincoln Lawyer, and I feel like he was able to play a very different character to Mickey Hallett over here. He just wants some quality time with his daughters, and obviously Luna Blaze's character has brought Xavier, her boyfriend, who is not seeing eye to eye with Manuel's character. Although I did like that heart-to-heart that Xavier had with him. He never really wanted to take credit for ultimately saving Luna Blaze's character. And speaking of Luna Blaze, I absolutely loved her performance in Manifest, and she was able to bring so much heart into this performance, especially as her character was basically pushed overboard to fend for herself when Rupert Friend's character was really reluctant to save her. Although I would say, I feel like even though a lot of characters were under high-stakes scenarios, you don't really believe it as so many of them just survive it. So overall, I have to say Jurassic World Rebirth is a really exciting and entertaining new addition to the Jurassic franchise. And it was a really enjoyable movie-going experience, even though the first act of this movie was such a drag to get through. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give Jurassic World Rebirth a solid 6.5 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of this film? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.